Notice that in persuading the peer to want to purchase this jug of water, he changed nothing about the jug of water. He didn't provide any more information. He didn't provide any data or information about the features or the benefits. What he did instead is he changed the context in which that jug of water was being offered. And one of the things that we are consistently finding, certainly over the last 20 years or so of persuasion research, is that context matters. It is the case now that successful influence and persuasion is increasingly governed by context and not cognition. If you can change the context in which your message, your proposal, your product, your service, your offering is presented, oftentimes by just making very small changes that interestingly don't require you to change your offer or your proposition at all, you can measure significantly big differences, surprisingly big differences in your influence success. Context trumps cognition increasingly in this crazy information overloaded world. And that's what essentially we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about a series of what we call small bigs. We answer the question, what is the smallest possible change that you could make? Perhaps a costless change to the words you use or the timing in which you present an opportunity to someone. Or just simply the way that you present it that leads to these significant increases in successful influence and persuasion. Now, why are these small changes so powerful? Well, the reason that these small changes are so powerful is because despite the abundance of different influence strategies, techniques that we've all been trained, that we've all read about, one of the things that this body of research also shows is that the overwhelming majority of most successful and influence persuasion strategies gain their power by being firmly rooted in one of just three fundamental motivations that every single one of us has inherent within us through either the evolutionary or socialization process. So here's my pitch. If you understand these three fundamental motivations and can craft your proposition, your proposal, your requests to align to one or more of them, the likelihood is that that proposal or that request will be enhanced in terms of its persuasiveness. Those three fundamental principles or motivations are these. People, increasingly in today's information overloaded world, need ways to make quick and efficient decisions as accurately as they possibly can. People have a need to make decisions that allow them to affiliate and gain approval of others. And finally, we all want to make decisions that allow us to be seen in a positive light, to stand out from the crowd. And I already recognize the conflict between those two motivations. We want to be part of the crowd, but we want to stand out from the crowd at exactly the same time. So, here's where I'm going to turn it over to you, just for the first couple of minutes. Before we get into these motivations, before I start to point to some of the evidence, some of the research that we and many other persuasion scientists around the world have conducted, I want to ask this question. What do you want to influence or change? Because if I can make these remarks, if I can make this session tailored to the kind of challenges that you're going to be facing tomorrow, the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year, that I think is going to allow us to come through on that promise, not just to make this a super interesting session about the science of persuasion, but to make it practical and actionable as well. So I'm going to give you on your tables for the first time today the opportunity to chat amongst yourselves. And what I'm looking for here And what you should be looking to identify are perhaps a couple of situations where you need to go and influence someone, or you need to perhaps change the way that you propose or make a proposition, or you have a big pitch coming up, or you have a team that you want to increase their influence and persuasion skills. Whatever it is that you're looking for, have a discussion and be clear about what it is. Because if you're clear about what you want, then the information and the session and the insights that follow will be able to build that bridge and allow you to go home not just with new insights, but practical actions as well. How does that sound? Yeah? Has the coffee not kicked in yet? Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 minutes maximum on your tables to figure out a couple of things. I'm going to come around you, and I'm going to ask you some questions. But on your tables, start to think about what is it that you actually want to influence and persuade people to do, and we'll make this super relevant for you. I'm going to give you 4 minutes. Have you found some nice people on your tables? Because you can always move if you need to. Okay, everyone, I've been around the room. I haven't been to every single table, but hopefully each and every one of you in the room, or at least each table or each team, has maybe a particular challenge, an influence situation that they're going to use as the target to work on for this next 90 minutes or so. Is that about the case? Give me a yes. Yeah, good. Let me just give you a few examples that I've collected up around the room. Lots of kind of sales and business growth challenges, as you would expect. How do we convert prospects into actual customers? There's some challenges with staff retention and attracting new staff. How do we do that? How do we break down certain obstacles that certain organizations actually have to get things done? How do we grow our business? How do I simply get people to say yes to me more? That came up a few times. Here's one that came up very often. How do I get people not just to say yes, but then to commit and take action? Is that a common one that? No, okay. How do I use these insights in advertising? How do I get my customers to think of our company first? So, lots of examples of very practical, actionable things, challenges you've actually got, and my hope is that as we go through these universal motivations and provide some of the insights of small things that you can do, hopefully we'll start to build a bridge to some big differences that you can make as a result.